Today we'll be going through the Commportal Auto Attendant and looking at its configuration and how to make changes to it. First thing you'll want to do is go to https://commportal.beloman.net. Once you do, you'll be at a screen that looks like this. You'll want to type in where it says number, you want to type in the phone number for the auto attendant and then type in its Commportal password, and once you do, hit login. And once you log in here, you'll see the main dashboard for the auto attendant. You'll see that it is turned on or turned off. It'll tell you if you've got any configuration errors. So the first thing we're going to look at here is we're going to look at the schedule. So if your auto attendant is configured with a schedule, you'll see where you can specify weekends or working hours or all other times. You'll see that when you configure these, you'll see you're specifying a specific menu, which we'll look at here in just a minute. But you can see I've chosen a main menu here, so that way during weekends it'll play the main menu. You can have one that says after hours, or you could have one that says holidays, or anything of that nature. But you can see you can change the schedule just by clicking on the blocks and changing the schedule. So now that we've looked at the schedule, let's look at the menus. Alright, so we can see that over here on the left there's only one menu, and I've got it selected. You can enter a description of which one it is. You also have where you specify which announcement it's using. So next, let's look at the keys. You can see that your 1 through 9, 0, pound, and star, what each one of those are doing. As you can see on this one, I've got it set up to transfer to phone on 101 if you press 1, transfer to phone to 102 if you press 2. So we're going to make some changes here. As you can see, you can transfer directly to voicemail, you can do dial by extension, you can do a lot of different things. So in this case, I'm going to do a transfer to voicemail, and I'm going to set this up to 102. You can see that's Jane Doe. And then if they end up pressing 9, I'm going to have them being given an announcement, and then it will return them to this screen here. So you can see I don't have an announcement yet for this one, so I'm going to say create a new announcement, and I'm going to call it business hours. We're going to report what hours we're open. So hit OK there. Alright, so we're good to go, so we're going to hit apply. So at that point in time, those changes have been made. Notice that now it's going to give you a little exclamation point letting you know that you have assigned it an announcement that does not have a recording yet. Okay, so this is one of those configuration issues that it was talking about earlier. Then you also have timeout values, where we can say what to do if they don't put anything in or give you any input within 3 seconds. You can tell it to, after the timeout, just hang up, or you can tell it to go to an operator or anything of that nature. Alright. And so let's now look at the announcements. Once you click announcements, you'll see each one of them have a number. The reason why you have these numbers is you can actually dial in and use your phone to make the recordings, or if you select this announcement, it'll pop up with this window here, and you can see where you can actually record an announcement straight from your computer if you have a microphone. You can add any other additional descriptions, like if you want to add a script or something in here of what's in there, you can do that as well. But once you make that recording, this exclamation will go away, and it will show you that there are no configuration errors. So the next thing we want to look at is the extensions tab. What this is that if you use the dial by name or dial by extension, these are your company directories. This is where you edit that information. You can see there's 2 different extensions, and in this case we're going to exclude this one. Okay, and that's going to exclude that one from being in the list. Then you also have John Doe and Jane Doe, so if you want to record a spoken name, you can record that from here just like you can an announcement. Then here you can also say new business group extensions. If they are added, do you want to automatically include them or exclude them? By default, it's set to include them. Also, you can select this where you can say callers that call in, they can only dial by extension if they select the dial by extension menu option, which this is default, or you can tell it to do it at any time. I would recommend against this. It also gives you a warning that they tend to dial too many options at one time, or they're not fast enough. I would highly recommend not doing that. So by default, it's set to only after selecting dial by extension menu option. Okay, the last thing you've got here is you've got your advanced. And what these are is if you're setting up a lot of menus and you have the same thing you're going to do on every single menu, like let's say for example, no matter what menu you put in there, you want them to always go to the operator, you can hit transfer to phone and then put in the operator's extension. So that way every menu you create, it'll all be the same. So you can set some default keys there. You can set up some error handling, like what happens during a timeout, what happens if you get a call transfer and it fails, anything of that nature that could possibly happen. And then of course you have other settings here where you can change the dial by name, where you can have it where it searches first and last name, or just first name or just last names. And then you can also set an intercept mailbox where you can have kind of a generic mailbox that everyone can check if they leave a generic message. Okay. So with all that being said, is if you just got through finishing configuring your auto attendant and it has not been turned on, you can turn it on from here. In this case, it is currently on. And you can also see that it is there is some configuration errors where we created that announcement and it does not have any audio tied to it. So I would recommend fixing all these issues before you turn it on. Just keep in mind that if you do turn it off, all calls that go to that number will fail until you turn it on. And that is the auto attendant.